Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It's Saturn's Day, June 21st, 2025. It's a couple days after Trump said he needs 2 weeks to decide what to do about Iran. While Iran and Israel fire back and forth at each other, at least so we're told in the news. Anyhow, 2 days into the 2-week decision process, we get the story that the B-2s, the stealth bombers, are on the move to Guam. Of course, one of the U.S.'s strategic military islands. Guam's north of Australia, a lot closer to Iran than the continental United States. And Guam's one of these territories we've had for a long time for military purposes, since 1898. But yeah, I want to talk about what a story this is for June 21st, a Saturn's Day. We'll get to that. But first, just to read a little bit of the reporting. 6 B-2 stealth bombers from White Man Air Force Base in Missouri appear heading towards a U.S. Air Force base in Guam, according to flight tracking data and voice communications with air traffic control. So much for being stealthy. The B-2 can carry a 2-ton bunker buster bomb. Keep in mind, B is the second letter, right? B, the second letter, so it's kind of a 2-2 that carries a 2-ton bunker buster bomb. Something only the U.S. possesses, which experts say could be key in destroying Iran's most heavily protected nuclear facility. They've been saying they need these bunker buster bombs for that and also for Khamenei's bunker. President Donald Trump, who said that he would make a decision on involvement in the Israel-Iran conflict, is expected to return to the White House on Saturn's Day afternoon. So, yeah, Iran is right below well, you know where India is, right? If you don't know the map, that patch of water there that is northwest of India, Iran is right below that. So Guam is there. Yeah. Guam is, like I said, a lot closer to Iran than the continental United States. But yeah, let's look at the Gematria piece, right? Guam was acquired for war purposes, just like Hawaii. If you're new here, Gematria, the 4 base ciphers of the English language: alphabetic order with numerology, reverse alphabetic order with numerology. You can see how Guam in the reverse numerology has the 21 like war, and here we are on the 21st of the month. It's a Saturn's Day. Did I forget to put Saturn up here? Oh no, I got it down below. And Saturn also equals 21. 21 is the 6th triangular number, like Saturn is the 6th planet. If you had 1 through 6 together, it equals 21. How many B-2s did they say they were sending? 6 B-2 stealth bombers are en route to Guam. And again, I'm just making the point every day that this is how the news is contrived by the occult, by numerology, by astrology. If any of you guys know that twerp Professor Dave Explains, who makes a career clowning on flat earthers, which is easy to do. Remember what he did when I challenged him on his assertions about how dumb numerology and astrology were. He had my video struck, which was total BS that YouTube did that because I only played a small clip of what he said, only to defeat his point, using his favorite institution to defeat it, which is NASA. And you can tell YouTube backs some of their agents, like Professor Dave Explains. It gets promoted everywhere. But yeah, I got suspended for a week for challenging him to a debate, just playing about a 30-second clip of what he said when that's what he makes a living doing, playing clips of other people. Anyway, he's never addressed that. He just had the video copyright struck, and I got suspended for a week. Again, just really false comments to say that numerology and astrology are stupid when your governing agencies use them every single day, and that's why it's important to learn. I'm not saying that numerology and astrology is something to guide your life by. I'm saying use it to see through how the authority operates. The one that's based in the city, nicknamed the Masonic City, when the Masons are into the occult, and things like Kabbalah, which is where this whole Gematria thing comes from. But yeah, just look at how it all overlaps. Iran-Guam War, the most simple cipher, 42. And you know what year Whiteman Air Force Base, where these planes were deployed from, was built? In 42. The same year the U.S. deployed its first troops to World War II. And the small way, World War is 42. Just like Freemasons 42, like Jesuits 42. Big number. About Iran, you see how Iran, Guam, and War in that cipher, Guam and War, both 15. Today's 15 days after Hegseth's birthday, for the record. Iran being 24 reminds me that this year in September, it'll be 24 years since the towers came down, catapulting those wars in the Middle East. And of course, the sitting president at the time, George W. Bush, he kept pointing the finger at Iran. And there was a lot of fear and warmongering with Iran back then, all through now. So I do find it interesting that it's going to be 24 years later, come September. You can also see how Iran and Guam overlap. And the war thing is interesting, equating to 39 in reverse, because Whiteman Air Force Base began the transition to a bomber base 39 years ago. And we'll get to how Whiteman also equals 39. But yeah, what a story for the 21st with the 6 bombers from Whiteman. And about it being a Saturn's Day, the day of the week named after Saturn, the most special planet to the occult, the one that has to do with time, and all these things are rituals in time, and Saturn's connected to death and judgment, which factors into war. But yeah, look at Whiteman, look at Missouri, and look at Saturn. You see it? A lot of the same numbers, right? Missouri, home of the Kansas City Chiefs, who became 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year. We gave you that one for free at the end of Super Bowl 57. We said, oh, next year, Super Bowl 58, first on the 42nd day of the year, the Vatican's birthday. Look for the Chiefs to be 4-2. Boom. But yeah, Missouri and Whiteman, a lot of overlap there. They both have the 42. They both have the 93. They both have the 123. Saturn also has the 42 and 93. Again, it's a Saturn's Day. Look at when the first B-2 bombers arrived at Whiteman Air Force Base. They began the transition to a bomber base in 86, in the time of Reagan, the other mega guy. And look, the first B-2 bombers arrived at the base on the 17th of December in 1993. Isn't that perfect? And now, this story, again on Saturday, June 21st. For the history of Guam, we acquired the island December 10th, 1898. From that day to today is 193 days later. And what else is interesting is today, June 21st, leaves 193 days remaining. 193 is the 44th prime number. Of course, military equals 44. Secretary of Defense equals 193. Remember, Hegseth was picked on the Superior General's birthday. He was chosen supposedly by Trump November 12th. That's the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, known as the Superior General. Superior General equals 222. Today is the 222nd day of his age. Tomorrow will be 222 days after his birthday. But notice June 21st is also the 172nd day of the year. Again, the day leaving 193 days remaining. The Jesuit motto in Merum Dei Gloriam is 172. I should have put the word Jesuit up here because Jesuit has a lot in common with Saturn. Jesuit equals 21 and 42. The Jesuit order equals 69. Remember, the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, was born on Saturnalia and buried on a Saturday. That was April 26th. They buried him after he died on Rome's birthday, April 21st. We covered all that then if you missed it. Perfectly synced with Jesuit educated Trump. Trump Mr. 88, the Pope dead at 88. Trump got 312 electoral college votes. Pope dead on the 312th day of Trump's age. Then we get the first American Pope. After Trump teases it on 5-5, we get the first American Pope born in 55. But yeah, just one other thing about the B-2 stealth bomber. It has that gematria connection to Jesuit order, which I found funny too. So, yeah, the main point though is just, when this base became a bomber base, its history, and how it all lines up with today. Oh, and I forgot to mention, 1898 was 127 years ago. 127. There's a big number with war, right? Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 127. The new Pearl Harbor in September of 2001. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 came tumbling down. Remember, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equals 127. So does Bavarian Illuminati. But yeah, 6 bombers from White Man, in Missouri, where they cleared out the lot darker complected people when they first came over here. Genocidal as ever from Europe. Anyway, yeah, it is all news by the numbers, and that's why they got to send 6 on a Saturn's day, named after the 6th planet. It's just, yeah. Professor Dave explains, if you see this, you're a twerp. And he's still out there saying, they're safe and effective. Like, how about actually go outside of your house and talk to some people and how people think they're safe and effective? You know what I'm talking about, right? He's that twerp that does that too. Yeah, they're safe and effective, all you pokey dope deniers. Like, there's a lot of people that can't say anything anymore because they're in the ground. There's a lot of people that, they got all kinds of new health problems. Let's not forget the pokey dope campaign. It was all by the numbers too, and it was also a military campaign. And what do militaries do? They kill people. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. And until next time, True Seeker.